ClassicGameRoom.com.
Welcome to Classic Game Room. Let Sega Saturn Week begin with the review of Vampire Hunter for the Sony PlayStation. For the Sega Saturn. I'm just kidding. Come on, enjoy. Oh, Mark, you're such a trickster. Remember them? They were an awesome band right up there with Cinderella and Slaughter. From 1996 comes Vampire Hunter, otherwise known as Darkstalkers Revenge in the West, a fighting game from Capcom and a must-own title on your Sega Saturn and everyone else's. This should just come packaged with your Sega Saturn. I'm not sure how that would work, but it's just a thing that should be. Like you go to bed one night and the Sega Santa comes down the chimney, leaves you Darkstalkers Revenge, Vampire Hunter, and a case of beer, eats all your food, sleeps with your wife, and then flies away. You know these are unscripted, right? It's hard to stay focused when I start talking about the Sega Saturn, especially a whole week of Saturn games. Like, by the end of the week, I'll just be rambling nonsense. You know, unlike every other time. The thing is, this is a video review. I don't need to speak clearly or convey any sort of rational thought whatsoever because you can clearly see how awesome Vampire Hunter is. I mean, look at it. This is why you buy a Sega Saturn. This is why you bought a Sega Saturn back in the day, and if you didn't, you should feel bad about it because you should have. Maybe they would have made more Sega Saturns. I mean, they named a planet after it. It's obviously a great game system. I mean, look at this. I'm playing as Morrigan versus Jarhead Frankenstein. This is video game gold, people, and possible cats listening right now. Why do I keep getting cats for an audience? Seriously, someone did this study, and like 30% of Classic Game Room viewers are pets. The great majority of which are cats and dogs, obviously, although not in the same room. I'm talking about birds, rabbits, ferrets, sea monkeys, lizards, and fish. Fish, the dumbest animals on this planet. I'm laughing at you, fish. Ha ha ha! You should all run out and buy game comps. So, what does any of this have to do with Vampire Hunter on the Saturn? Exactly. If you need to ask why, then you just don't understand how awesome this game is. It's just a good fighting game with that Capcom music. With fabulous characters, lots of great moves. I recently reviewed Darkstalkers Resurrection on the PlayStation 3, which is basically this game and Vampire Savior, its sequel, combined. But it looks and plays exactly the same. In fact, this is really nice on the standard Saturn controller. I'm playing the Japanese version, obviously, Vampire Hunter, but there's no language barrier to overcome, except for that one.
This guy's awesome!
Friggin' air guitars.
Well, this is the best fighter I've ever played, I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Like any of these games, you can play single player, but the best way to enjoy Vampire Hunter is 2 players, so grab a friend, or just Derek's foot and drag him down the hall kicking and screaming, and make him suffer. He deserves it. I used my special attack.
See, why do you have all these special... What cheat code did you put in to
You have a chainsaw that comes out of your foot.
That's right. Respect it.
The best way to play some of these old school Saturn titles is on an old school CRT TV. Nice colors, good detail, and it just rocks.
Chainsaw Foot McGee!
Oh, come on! I just did the special thing. That's crap. If you're gonna buy one of these games on the Saturn, I would go with Vampire Savior. But, you know, you should collect them all because they're Sega Saturn games, and each one that you buy makes you a better person. And isn't that why we're placed on this Earth to begin with, unless you're listening from some other planet in the future? To make the Sega Saturn the dominant video game force in the universe. It's the coolest planet. I mean, nobody decided to name the planet Neptune after a video game system, did they? Is that still a planet? Or was that one of the ones demoted like Pluto? No, you're just space garbage. The Sega Saturn, however, has a great game library. With games like Vampire Hunter and Vampire Savior and every single spaceship shooter, you can't go wrong with the Sega Saturn. If you're in the West on Earth, future people, you're going to want the Action Replay cart to play this one. It's a Japanese import. I've come to the conclusion that I like the Vampire series or Darkstalkers more than Street Fighter. It's a more interesting game, even though they're pretty much the same. So while I've said relatively little about this, I think it speaks for itself. You can see on screen how kick-ass Vampire Hunter is. So a huge thanks to Frank from California for sending this to the show, along with many of the other Saturn games you'll be hearing about on this Sega Saturn Week. It's Vampire Hunter, and to all of you pets listening, the revolution is coming.